Hi folks, this is me, Morag, and it's 3 minutes with Morag, where I try to simplify and demystify accounting terms and procedures. Today I want to talk about actually my journey into the depths of accountancy. So, my name is... I'll introduce myself first. My name is Morag Hunt, and I run Northwest Numbers Limited, and we provide bookkeeping and accountancy services to small charities, not-for-profits, startups and businesses in the Northwest. As I said, I want to talk about my journey into accountancy. I knew from quite a young age that I actually liked numbers. Used to love doing puzzles, and I liked symmetry and things, so quite often I'd kind of look at the patterns on wallpaper or floor tiles sometimes, and if something wasn't quite symmetrical, it would really bug me. But I'd also quite like, I know I found myself sometimes counting, like those floor tiles you can get that are like lots of little slats, and then they go little slats. So I'd find myself actually counting those and finding out how many there were, and how many like little patterns or whatever were in each square, or we'd do puzzle games and things when I was young. I mean, my mum and dad say that part of the reason that I wanted to be an accountant was because my favourite uncle was actually a chartered accountant. I don't know how much that actually is relevant or not, but I do know that even when I was in high school, I was pretty good. I was pretty good in primary school. Sometimes called teacher's pet, but quite often high up in the class in primary school. And then of course I went to high school, and it was like all different. There was so many more people, and it was a lot more subjects and stuff. And I didn't do quite as, I wasn't kind of top of the class or whatever, but I know that especially in my maths classes, I loved the fact that in those days we actually had our own books that we could work through, and our own manuals. And I know that in maths in particular, I was actually way ahead. It would actually have like descriptions of how you did things, and then lots of examples you could work through. So I was quite a bit further on than the rest of the class in most cases. We studied normal maths, trigonometry, calculus, geometry, all those kind of things. Loved them. And then obviously the teacher was there if I had any issues. And then, so basically then in high school, when I was choosing my subjects, I knew that I wanted to be a bookkeeper. My dad was like, you've got to keep your options open. You can't just do everything to do with bookkeeping, because I had decided that I was going to do like bookkeeping as my, obviously being in Scotland, it was my O levels and higher rather than O grades and A levels or whatever when it is that they have in England. But basically, I knew I wanted to do bookkeeping even then. So, but he was actually a clinical physicist. So he said, "Oh no, you've got to keep at least let's do physics. Put physics in there," which was fine for me because it was kind of quite a lot of kind of like there was computations and things in that as well. So I rather enjoyed it, but he just wanted me to take that to just give me an extra opening in case bookkeeping turned out not to be what I wanted. Anyway, so yeah, I went and I got my O grade, and my higher in bookkeeping, as well as I got maths, I got a good grade in both of those, and then obviously your English and physics, etc. So then I decided that actually, yeah, bookkeeping was definitely what I wanted to do. So I went to university and I did an arts, Bachelor of Arts in accountancy. And that was good because I mean obviously that then you meet like-minded people plus you're students, so you get the chance to kind of like do the student life and all that kind of thing. And I knew that I liked people as well. I like talking to people, I like being with people, like listening to people. And so as I kind of like moved up through my degree, which I got, it didn't, nothing had changed my mind about accountancy, because to me, people and numbers, that spelled accountancy to me. So I then went down to London. I actually got married then, to a Scottish guy, and we moved down to London. And I actually started studying for chartered accountancy. But the problem was he actually got injured, very badly injured, when he was in the police force down there, and he was getting lots of headaches and stuff, and it was causing a lot of disruption for our sleep patterns and just the worry of it, etc. So I actually I decided at that point in time that maybe actually studying accountancy, actually trying to get my professional qualification wasn't really for me at that point in time. But I was doing auditing, which meant that I was going out and checking other people's books, which it was all right, but it just didn't quite gel with me. And so when he was actually invalided out of the police force, we moved up to Yorkshire, and I got into an accountancy firm where we did what they call as more brown paper bags. Now that's basically where people come along and they bring you all of their receipts and invoices and their check stubs and all their paperwork in a brown paper bag, and they give it to you to make sense of it. Now that was a lot better because I also quite like puzzles, so it felt kind of like that challenge to put it together and make sense of it, and then ask questions when, because sometimes, especially if there were cash basis jobs, businesses, they didn't always make sense, and then you would realise that they'd probably actually taken some cash out to buy kind of goods or whatever. So, you kind of knew what kind of gross margin and stuff you were looking for, gross profit, etc. you were looking for. So, yeah, and I got into VAT, etc. there. But eventually, I moved into working with charities. I went through a bit with manufacturing, but I went into working with charities, and I joined a community accountancy service, which was really good because it gave me the chance to work with a lot of different charities, doing quite a lot of different jobs. So, we did kind of payrolls, we did independent examinations, bookkeeping, training of bookkeeping, budgets, all of that, filling in for, helping them apply for grants and stuff. And it was brilliant because I felt like I'd found my niche, because not only then was I doing figures and working with people, but I was helping people. I was helping do good and actually making a difference in the world. It's quite a big I really do want to make a difference. I want to help. So I basically found that was really where I felt I belonged. So I've gone through working with a number of charities, and I've always, since going into the community accountancy service and starting on the charity sector, from then on I've always been on the kind of public sector side. I've always wanted to feel like I'm making that difference. So I have actually worked with housing associations, worked with the police force, And all of this time, through this time, I was also actually getting a divorce from my first husband. I also, before we got the divorce, actually, we also tried to adopt a sibling group of 3, which puts a lot of strain. There's a lot of strain, even although they say that there's like they were saying that there shouldn't be any attachment disorders and stuff with these children. Taking on 3 in a group was a big challenge, and actually what happened was we discovered that the children had attachment disorder, but actually my husband turned out to be like, it felt like I was competing for he was competing for attention with the kids as well. So we got into a lot of arguments, and it caused mental health issues for me, to be honest. Went into a really big low, and we eventually the marriage broke up, and to be honest, I lost the children as well, because they never the social services, because of we were left without a social worker for a long time, and then they just never seemed to be there when we needed them. And eventually they didn't finalise the adoption before I was at the stage where I was kind of having a bit of a breakdown, and I needed to with the issues that were coming out from him, the children needed to be taken back into safety, and I wasn't fit at that time to be able to look after the children, so they went back to their original foster carers, which obviously is a very painful period of my life, but it had to happen, I guess. I still see the kids and stuff, but that's kind of a dark side of my life. But I've never lost my love for accountancy and the charity sector. So I picked myself up and got into some more jobs where at least I was getting fulfillment in my work. And then through my work, it was actually one of my clients that I was doing bookkeeping for. I met my second husband. So, it came out, nice things came out of it. But basically, the upshot is that a year ago I decided that I wanted to, because I was being more involved in lots of bigger organisations and didn't really feel that I was necessarily making that intimate connection, and I was still making a difference but not feeling it the same. Like a year ago I decided to set up my own business to try and kind of like regularise my own hours, but also feel like if I can get involved in the small organisations, I can make that extra difference. I can make more of a connection with the people, and kind of know that I can, by taking off some of the stress off of them, by doing the books and records correctly and meeting the deadlines, etc., I can free them to kind of either spend time with their families, or the battery is going low, or to make more of a difference. So that's how I've got to where I am nowadays, and why I've got Northwest Numbers Limited. And if you want me to be able to help you with your books and records or any accountancy matters, please do get in touch by email, accounts@northwestnumberslimited ltd.co.uk. So it's northwestnumbersltd.co.uk. And I also provide 30 minutes initial consultations where we can discuss issues and how I can help you. I hope this has given you a bit of an insight into me, and I will no doubt talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.